Should I just like keep that in, like say we're going live, and then you start doing the little clap, and it's like,
Yeah, sure, of course.
welcome to the Six Shots Anime Podcast, where we actually probably need a real tagline by now that I can say every time. And I don't know, we shoot
We
it so
watch
you
shitty
don't have
anime. We
to.
don't really watch shitty anime yet, have we?
We haven't watched anything bad yet. Because it's like the whole premise is like, oh, we watched 6 episodes and we see if we want to keep going or not. And it's like, it's like I'm like,
I
listen,
haven't
not
learned to quit
not
yet.
to like toot my own horn, but I'm just too empathetic. I can't make us watch bad shows on purpose.
Oh, you're an empath now?
Maybe. There is a. Here's the thing. I feel like by this point, it's like if we do get through Beastars, it'd be fair to like put up the danger roulette.
Oh yeah, well, we gotta throw up like some bad ones and some good ones and see which one we
Yeah.
get.
So that's what the roulette's for, to offset me just not wanting us to be tortured.
We met the main villain yet? I do believe so.
Yes. All right, we have met Melon, but yeah. So danger roulette is like after we're like, when we're done with the series, more of the crap. Yeah, I'm just gonna put up like a freaking spin the wheel, and one of the shows is going to be a real stinker.
Oh yeah, we
And
gotta
there will
have
be a
one.
1/6 chance that we'll get a real stinker, and like a
And
5/6 chance we'll move on to something actually good.
and Phustus will be really grumpy.
It'll be really, really funny. You'll have to watch like 6 episodes of some like weirdo garbage you've never heard of.
And then that'll probably be the first one where I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. We get like 2 shows in, and it like kills our friendship immediately.
I'm just like, that's it. We're breaking up. I'm leaving. That's it. I'm
No,
leaving.
but
Throw my headset.
Phustus. No, listen, the only reason I put High Guardian Spice on there was because it's really, really funny.
No, I watched 3 episodes and wanted to jump off the planet. I couldn't even make it to 6.
but Phustus, listen, what do you mean you couldn't even survive air species reviewers?
No.
That's the thing. It's like some of them are just some of the danger shows are it's like pure trash, and some of them are just like here's some really funny bullshit.
I'd probably laugh at that one. No.
Here's something where it's like it's so just dumb and out there that it's like, oh yeah, like if we're forced to do this is gonna be really, really goofy.
So we'll see. But first, I guess I'll start talking about this show. Lol. And you wanted to talk about our new, I guess, like side character, BoJack Horseman.
I did want to start on this because we do open on Horseman.
It is the first thing that we
see
in season 1. I just wrote down that he's a new guy. Ooh, could be a villain, but we finally wrote that he's not. He actually just kind of looks like every 80s action star, but with a horse head. It's weird.
Yeah, he's freaking Yaya.
I know.
I'm pretty sure it's his name, Yaya.
Yeah, I think it's Yay. YAHYA is what I've read.
Yeah. So here's the goofy thing: is that up till now I've been watching the dub. I chose to watch the sub for this one.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna have slightly different experiences for the first time, actually. Because I feel like the subs probably pretty on point, but there were some things I looked at, and I'm like, I don't think these subtitles are completely accurate. Because in episode 1, we see Gohim doing his psychotherapy stuff on, like, a dog girl, and he keeps calling them he in the sub, and I'm like,
Yeah. I noticed that because there's actually subtitles over it, and for some reason they don't match up to what they're saying.
Oh, that's
And I was like,
hilarious.
"Oh, these are the original like subtitles for like the like Japanese version."
Yeah.
Like, and they just didn't remove them, I
That's always
guess.
the goofy thing about like these shows. 'Cause it's like you go and you click subtitles, and it's like, okay, cool. And the subtitles are for like the actual like subbed version, because it's like, yeah, just that's most efficient. But it's like the dub's going to differ slightly in like creative decisions and stuff, so it's like with the crapper we but yeah.
I only caught like one or two things that were different, but then again, I'm don't know, not very good at reading.
That's fine. Yeah, that's why you're watching the dub, which is probably a better, like, you know.
I did like it. I did like the dub. It was good. The voice
Yeah.
actors are all good.
So,
Um,
I should probably get into. We met our fucking villain.
yeah.
And
So we met our side hero, is what I'm calling him right now, and then our main villain.
so I'm. Phustus, I'm just gonna say just outright, just take a guess. How do you think I found our villain?
I think you loved our villain.
Yeah, you know me too well. I.
You
Dude,
you didn't
dude.
just no. It's not that you just like him. You like fell in love with him, and he was only on screen for like the
Dude.
end of episode 6.
You
But
know me way
still,
the fuck too well. We.
you get to see his arm a couple of times and his voice, and then he just I guess like you loved him and found
Okay,
part of him.
I did go as far as like find part of him,
Not
but I
yet,
did find.
obviously.
I
Wait till the
did
end of the
like.
season.
I was
I
like.
don't want spoilers.
I was like, oh, I want to know what the deal is. So I looked up like
Gosh,
images.
you did,
Like I
yeah.
Google image searched the character. So yeah,
This is our
I
main villain
saw
for the
some
season.
spoilers up to know what the deal is, but I didn't see like enough to spoil the character, I think.
He's the guy in charge of Shishigumi. I don't
Yeah.
think we've seen him without his mask on yet.
Yeah, we've seen like some pictures of him, but you know, it's like, yeah.
Well, maybe you have in the but in the show, I haven't seen him outside of like this one picture you got.
Yeah, like we did
This
see
is
his like picture up framed on the wall, and we
oh
saw like
yeah,
the
there is
file where
that.
they're
I
like,
forgot
yeah,
about he's got like a framed picture of himself, but still. Um,
yep, yeah. I'm not
I
gonna
I
read the chat, but just yeah, Dalby boy, exactly.
yeah, yeah, no spoilers. Because
I
this is actually one that both of us haven't seen yet.
yeah. And here's the thing,
Um,
I looked him up, and I'm like, oh, this character in the anime, he looks pretty nuts. In the manga, like, you ever get the vibe that someone just radiates fucking, like, unhinged energy,
wow,
you know?
that's interesting.
Yeah, you ever get the vibe that you just look at a character and you're just like, this guy is not alright? Why is that kinda hot? This fucking like look at this like fucking like Phustus. Phustus. Why the fuck do I have the worst taste in guys? No offense.
I don't know. I
Like
don't even understand what you see in me then, because I'm nothing like any of these.
you're
people.
nothing like any of these people. I'm just like looks like a smug cat about just to push a bottle off the table. Yeah.
Now you looked up a lot of pictures of him.
It's worth knowing one of the first pictures that I saw was just like him pointing a fucking gun at himself and like just doing the most unhinged fucking look ever. It's just like, oh, sploosh.
Well, sorry that he doesn't really have much to do in
Yeah,
this actual part of the season.
That's fine. We get a voice. That's all I need for now.
We get a voice and we get this bit at the
Yeah,
end
don't
of
worry.
this
They didn't see
season,
anything.
or
Yeah.
at the halfway point.
We get the voice and we hear him talk. I was very quick to compare the sub to the dub and be like, okay, which of these is better? I think I like the sub better.
Yeah. I usually like the Japanese voice actors are pretty good at like being the evil guy, so because like Diva's voice
But
actor is
yeah,
the best.
list of characters I've fallen for that I probably shouldn't has encompassed to include both like evil spirits that can't walk, evil spirits that don't even have a body, and a straight up drug dealing serial killer. And that's pretty fucking worrying. But okay, we'll work through this.
Yeah, and I've got I got nothing.
All right, so where do you actually want to start with this? Now that
Alright, so now that
I've
now that you've introduced these characters and gushed about them.
now that I've introduced, I'm going to be very very normal about the main villain of this arc.
I'm so sure. I knew you would love him.
Yeah, I personally prefer Dub because he sounds so damn prideful and hinges. Yeah, it's like the sub. It's like he sounds like a pretty normal dude until he literally starts going mask off, and he's like, kid gets so deep, ah, yeah. And it's like, ooh, yeah, that's it. That like that low unhinged fucking growl.
Right on. Writing this down. Keeping notes.
Keeping notes. Listen, I don't know what this is going to be useful for you, like, at some point.
Keeping notes on my podcast partner.
Keeping notes in the off chance that at some point, you need dirt.
Yeah. I mean, I could just open up the like, furry chat to everybody. Anyways, so after we meet a new guy because he's talking, you just see his hand. Not even this guy. It's the horse.
Yeah, the horseman. Okay, let's actually go through this chronologically, kind of, so it makes sense. Yeah.
So that's when we get to Legoshi going through what I'm gonna call the DTs, the detoxes.
Yes.
Because he's freaking out in his room.
Legoshi goes through some shit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so hungry. He's literally just like going off of drugs. That's what it's very much like.
You definitely let bite you during horror hour. I will not let that go, by the way. But yeah, continue. Yeah. Fucking baby Legoshi's so adorable. Anyways.
Yeah, baby Legoshi is pretty adorable. I loved Little Jack and Little Legoshi.
Yeah, that'd go bug hunting together, because of course.
This is where we also find out that we first meet Legoshi's new neighbor, who's really awesome.
Yeah, the lamb girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget her 7. I think her name is. Yeah, I freaking love her.
Yeah, it's 7. She's pretty cool.
So it feels like Legoshi, you know, he got like arrested. He has like a criminal record now. Leaves the school. Okay. And then it's like, oh, what happens when you drop out of school? You just, you know, you go to like rent an apartment and you get a fucking job. So it's like, it feels like they're like, all right, well, we have to replace Haru with someone so Legoshi can have like a dynamic where he's like afraid of his instincts. And they created just kind of like better Haru, sort of.
Honestly, I was gonna say best girl so far.
Yeah, straight up. I love 7.
She's the best. I don't know why. She just showed up on screen in her pajamas, and I was like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna like this girl. I wrote
Yeah,
that down.
Seven is like a grounded, like realistic, like normal person who's just sick of dealing with people's shit, and I vibe with that so hard.
Like I was going in between a joke for her name being Seven because like she's number seven in the sheep that they count before going to
Yeah.
sleep.
Ah, that's
Also,
goofy.
I,
Yeah.
there's the darker one that's probably more true, which is number seven was probably her number when she was in the black market.
Oh yeah, like there's a non-zero chance she was in like one of those, animal
Yeah,
slave rings, exactly like,
just just just
yeah.
like Lewis was number four before she was seven, but I mean I'm not.
I'll
This
probably
is
go
not
she left
confirmed.
the damn rap for. Okay, here's the one thing with that. Because it's like
Oh yeah,
Seven
this
is
is where we also
confirmed to
learn
be like, yeah,
an
she's like
adult.
30
I
or
like
something.
an
She's like a
adult.
proper adult.
She drinks beer later on, you know.
Yeah, and Legoshi just turns 18 at like the end of episode 6.
Yeah, it's literally his birthday, in
Yeah,
episode
so
6. But
so maybe I can't have quite the same dynamic, but you know what? Fair enough.
there's apparently also because he visits Gohim again, and he's just kind of like because he's dropping off noodles because he works at an udon shop,
Yeah, no,
and
it's fine. Yeah.
and this is where he leaves Gohim's office, and he's also like, "Oh, hey, kid, because you have record of prior devouring, it means that there can't be any interspecies relationships," and he's like, "Dead."
I have curiosity, is this like the person where Legoshi just walks in to deliver noodles and Gohim's got someone else strapped to the sex chair?
Yes. Yes, he's got no. I think he offers the chair to him, and he doesn't even remembers,
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
and
Legoshi's
he's
like,
like, "No,
oh,
I'm
right,
good. I'll
that's the
stand."
sex chair.
He's like, "No, I'm good. I'll stand." He does. He's. I think he shows up there later again because he's always goes to Gohim because Gohim's a fucking Chad.
Yeah. This is the point where Legoshi should just walk up to Haru and he's like, alright, I've got a record, we can't be married, but I mean, we should probably date since that's not, like, an option.
But
That'd take some balls, though, and Legoshi doesn't
after
have them.
after we find out that from Gohim,
He's been neutered.
we switch over. Yeah, he's being neutered. We switch over for like 5 hot seconds. 5 hot seconds just to check in with Lewis. He's got a robo leg.
Yeah, it's very important to note that Lewis lost his leg, and now his leg is just like a robot leg. Why?
Literally,
It's yeah, sure.
the scene goes nowhere. It just cuts so that you know he has a leg now. Like, it's like cool, thanks.
Yeah,
You
it's
could have
listen. It's
worked
very
it a
important
bit.
that we know that like Lewis was disabled, and now his disability doesn't really affect him in any way, shape,
Yeah,
or form.
his disability really meant nothing in any way, shape, or
it
form because
it
his dad
means
bought him a
nothing, and he can literally
upstairs
still
robo
fight for
leg.
like no reason.
Yeah, he's fine. He walks around just fine. It's
He
ridiculous.
like axe kicks a dude, you know?
He does fight a guy.
He fights a dude and kicks the shit out of him with his robot leg. And it's like, okay, so this isn't gonna hinder you at all. If anything, it probably made you stronger.
I thought it was really pointless.
It's really pointless. So, I've got a hot take. I'm gonna wait to get into it, but yeah. I'm just gonna like keep that on the back burner for a second as we get through these.
This moves into the second episode, but we also go back. We go to see Jack for a little
Right?
bit, and he gets a call from Lugosi's granddad, and then you see his hand because we're doing a lot of hand things this season. We're just showing hands at first.
Yeah, a lot of hints to characters, and it's like, oh, but who's this guy? And it's like, oh, you're that guy. You know, you're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we're gonna show their hand and then literally show them in the next episode. It's like, okay. But
Yeah, getting
still,
kicked by
anyways.
like a metal leg would suck.
Yeah, that would hurt. There's a herbivore murderer, and you also learn the Shishigumi's new boss, who
Yeah.
Death is in love with.
So here's where like it starts to get really interesting because it's like the
Moving into the
Shishigumi,
second
they have a new
episode.
boss, and you start to get like hints about them. I'm wondering how many of these like you picked up on, right?
Well, I kind of called it that it was a herbivore almost immediately, but I didn't pick that it was the gazelle. Even when the horse dude was like, this the
Yeah.
gazelle dude. It's 100% him." I'm like, "That's
I
dumb."
so I think I want to like go through this because it's like this is stuff where it's like even if I wasn't spoiled, I feel like I'd pick up on, be like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Because
Right?
it's like, oh, the first thing you see is like, yeah, there's the the freaking fingerless goat man is back, the old goat beggar. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
talking
oh man,
about
the black market sure sucks. And it's like, all right,
different
first, how
gangs.
the crap aren't you dead? And
Yeah,
then
and he still has
someone,
all of his fingers.
yeah,
Well,
then
not all
someone
of them,
sneaks up
but
behind him and cuts his throat with a fucking knife. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess you are dead. And
I'm
they
gonna tell you,
seemingly
at
just
first,
leave.
it took me until like maybe a little bit into episode 2 to like be like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah,
It's like
and you see
I
like
didn't
the
figure
yeah,
it out
like the
there.
Shishiguis trying to make deals and stuff, and you like, you see like someone like show up and they're like, "Oh yeah, you have the supplies? I can offer that. Now make me your boss." And they're like, "Oh, but do you think that's gonna cover everything?" And they're like, "Oh, of course, And they give more supplies, and they're like, okay, maybe we should make this guy our boss. He seems more
Yeah,
connected than we
because
are."
he's getting ivory from elephants that he murders, and
Yeah.
he's not a herbivore assassin. He's more like a murderer.
Yeah, it's been all since I actually watched season 3. Yeah. And you like later see you see in the saga of Melon that it's like, oh, you see a bit of him like ordering them around, and you see he's like he tosses the knife into a table or something. But yeah, it's like, oh, that's the same knife. You're the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
It was in
And
episode 2 when he threw that knife down on the table. I think maybe it was episode 3.
yeah,
Anyways,
and
I
then we
have it in
like,
my
we
head.
get more about that. We hear, and it's like this is the interesting thing because we like hear them talk about him as they're on their way to drink coffee made with this Civets fucking
Oh yeah,
shit.
they're talking about him. This is I'm gonna just tell you where this is. In. This is in episode 4 where they're walking through a fucking maze, random
Right?
maze, and then with their whiskers out, and then they meet this little guy
This
who's
little
making drugs,
asshole.
and he also makes them drink his poop.
He makes them drink his poop drugs. This
Yeah.
is ironically the plot of Beastars right
This
now.
is the plot that this little thing is making poop drugs for
Yes.
the gazelle dude, and the
They're
gazelle dude is getting people like carnivores hooked on meat.
yeah, and because it's like the fucking the literal
Just literal
shitter.
shitter, yeah.
Yeah, it's like because they're selling like energy drink drugs that are laced with herbivore bones and shit. And they're
Yeah.
also selling like, stuff laced with like the shit that's also like, designed to make instincts go wild. And the idea is that it's like, oh, well, your instincts crave meat, so this stuff has like traces of like meat in it, and it makes you like go crazy. And it's like, it's like crack basically. Like you're addicted
Yeah.
because of like your feral instincts. And we hear them talk out the boss, and they're like, just like, oh yeah, like that guy's got like a weird laugh, he's like really kind of like creepy and like the way he does things, They're like, yeah, he's also like a really fucking messy eater. He's just kind of like an unpleasant guy to be around.
Yeah.
And this is the point. This is the point where you stop and you're like, wait a fucking second. Like, didn't they like make fucking Louis eat like a steak?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, wonder what the fuck that means. Is this are they like, are you just not doing it? Yeah. What's the deal? Oh well.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. It's I feel like at this point I kind of know what the deal is. I'm wondering if you're gonna catch on to what the deal is. Yeah.
I think I kind of figured it out, but I'll get to that later.
Well, basically a carnivore go on a hunting killing spree if they got too much of it. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But at that point they've already made the sale, so not really their problem if they overdose.
True. But before we get... Oh, hold up. I just got one little thing that we need to talk about, because basically talked about everything in episode 2, except for Rat Mech.
Yeah, oh yeah, we can talk about this fucking rat mech. How could I not? Because Ass wanted to get the clues out, and you know what, Ass want to finish this up real quick, is they're getting the kids, and we learn that it's like, Melon is working as like a therapist, while Moonlighting is like the Shishigumi boss.
Yeah.
Like an actual therapist, so he can get people alone. And it seems like that's where he's like getting the parts, because he has like a secret murder shoot in his office. So he probably like gets them alone, maybe like puts them on hypnosis or like, you know, something, you know, gets
Wait
them
a
to close
minute.
their eyes, and then he like kills them, shoves them down the chute, and that's why he has like elephant ivories and stuff, because he's like killing elephants. They're his patients.
Yeah. Hold on, some people just put something in my head. This is just a more intricate plot of Zootopia.
Kind of, yeah. I wonder if they watched Zootopia by the time they wrote this.
This is literally just a more complicated version of Zootopia.
What if Zootopia but had like hard drugs and it actually was
murder.
going to like commit to consequences?
Yeah, if it was rated R.
Yeah, what if Zootopia was like a gritty noir like crime drama with like a weirdly upbeat opening that somehow had the vibe of like New York despite being like an anime?
I didn't really like the opening actually that much.
I really didn't like it. It's like I like the mixed media stuff. It's fine.
It
but
wasn't
it's like,
actually in that many episodes either. It was missing from
Yeah.
the first, the fourth, and the sixth episode.
yeah, it's a very like it feels very tonally dissonant because it's the brass opening yet, and it's like we're watching it before the darkest shit in the series.
Yeah, and then it literally has like this happy-go-lucky shit, and then it ends with Beastars final season.
Oh
Like
my god,
fire
they're
and
literally
death.
selling de-evolution pills. He's right.
Yeah, that's what I put together when I said this is just Utopia. It's literally.
Is that rat that was about to kill a turtle because turtle so was gonna give away his goddamn shells? Maybe? Let me just get to the rats real quick. Yeah. Because rat
we
mech
gotta get
goes
to the
hard.
rats. The rat mech that's just there. Like I was so
Yeah,
confused by this.
This is the best fucking... Okay, listen.
I was like, this is both so cool and really dumb because of how this scene goes.
Plot-wise, like, as far as, like, actual story structure and, like, main characters and stuff, this season's gone off the rails. Probably, like, you know, like, as far as actual story goes, probably, like, the worst, like, out of the 3 so far.
Yeah,
this is some of the best fucking characters in the series.
It has a lot of, like, side characters, but they're really funny.
Yeah, it's a lot of, like, weirdo side characters. And it feels like all of them are just kind of, like, hitting really well, and they're really good in their own right.
Like, I love Ratmech comes in, and he beats the shit out of these guys. And then I can't even... I looked away for 1 second 1 second I turned around and they were getting fucked in a bag by police officers.
Yeah, it's like so this is a group specifically known as 500 Cornered Rats.
Yeah.
And they like literally form into a Gohim shaped like mecha to like distract someone before they all just like split off and ninjas throw each other like around so they can like steal their money and their drugs, and then they all
They're
just like
Robin
scurry
Hood
the
mice.
fuck out of there. Yeah, they just like steal their shit and like run the fuck away, go down a pipe. Immediately there's like a cop at the other end like holding a bag. It catches all of them in there and they start like slamming them against the fucking wall. It's like, what the fuck is going on? The suspicious user ban evasion monitoring. Oh yeah. Yeah, this sure is a suspicious user, as in a bot. I'm surprised that Twitch hasn't, like, yeah. Just ban, because if someone's already ban-evading, I don't think they should be able to, like, keep going. I think that's a pretty fair, like, you know, yeah. But yeah, it's like the rats just start getting like beamed against the fucking wall, and it's not like, you know, it's like, oh, they just get like thumped. It's like there is fucking blood and they're
there
like
are
gory.
dead ones. There's 100% dead ones in that bag.
Yeah, some of them probably actually did not make it.
Yeah, like they're like when the horse guy comes in and opens the bag up, right? There's literally some of them that are like grabbing the other ones and like, no, you're dead, like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like he like opens it up to like fucking, I don't know, the D-Day opening when he opens that bag with all these like mice dead and laying on top of each other.
Shit. And it's like, that's the thing, because it's like Yaya's like on their side. He saves them from the cops just being the shadow, and he's like, okay, what intel do you have, my like spies of the underworld?
Yeah,
and they're just like, ah, man, traveling a bit like, let's rough with us next time. Jeez, okay, so here's all the stuff we got to help you track down a serial killer. Listen, we have to, like, break up this fucking drug trade, horse cop.
Yeah.
Fucking horse cop. No, it's a mech made of rats. It is made of people.
It's a rat mech.
Yes, in every sense of the word, it is a rat mech.
It's fucking hilarious.
Actually, I guess it'd be like a rat mech of, like, a panda, but yeah.
It was really funny.
It's really good.
And so random, and like I looked away for a second and then they were dying and I was like, what has happened?
Ratatouille, but take it to the extreme, exactly. Listen, what if the rats weren't pulling on, like, you know, the guy's hair, Linguini? What if they're pulling on each other's hairs? That sounds sexual, but sure, let's go with it.
No, and then it moves on to Legoshi, and I was like, "Oh, this is so obvious." And this is also going into episode 3, but they get him to like smell the drink, and literally earlier in the episode,
yeah,
I've had like scene where the dude sniffs the drink and then he goes crazy, and I was like, "Oh, he's just gonna go crazy, and it's gonna be obvious."
Oh my
but he
god.
doesn't.
I feel like we need to stop. We need to actually talk about this fucking scene, because the way this plays out,
where he hallucinates his boyfriend.
I was even talking about that. I'm like, Legoshi just walking along, and you just, you know, cuts to Yahi. It's like, he's like, oh yeah, this drink, you know, it's like, it's got herbivore bones. It's like, you know, extremely addictive, really dangerous. You know, it's especially powerful on people who've tasted meat before. I feel really bad for the sad sack that gets involved with this shit. And it just cuts to Legoshi just happily just like on his way, not caring the world. He's just like, yeah, I felt I got my first paycheck. I got a job.
I'm so happy. And then the drug dealers.
Wrong. Just
The drug
guy
dealers
grabs
come out of
his
the
shoulder,
woodwork.
just like, what? Try some fucking drugs.
Yo, dude, try some of this. And then he's like, nope.
He just, yeah. Honestly, that's like one of the really funny
Because he's
parts
high
because
on
he's
life.
just like immediately like, oh yeah, nope, and it's like, oh right, because he actually had trained to like resist his urges. This is like a thing they established.
I was like, oh wow, they didn't go for the obvious, oh look, Legoshi went crazy, this is gonna be a
Yeah,
huge
it'd be
misunderstanding
really
bullshit.
funny if that's all it took for Legoshi to get like hooked on drugs, and that was the plot of the season.
Yeah, he's just, I literally thought that's kind of where it was going for a minute, but I
Yeah.
was proved wrong.
He's just like, all right, well, so much for that. You know, he starts leaving, and he like
And
hallucinates
then he
his boyfriend.
hallucinates his boyfriend, Louis.
And he's like, hey, yo, you said you'd like kick their ass, right? So, you gonna let him
Did
get
you
away
eat
with
my
this?
leg for nothing, bruh? And he's like, you're right. And then he just goes and kicks their ass for no reason.
He's like, hey, you're selling drugs? Okay, let's fuck you up.
Oh, by the way, that energy drink has herbivores in it. Don't you feel bad? The fuck are you talking about, bro? I'm gonna punch you now. What? Just start
Listen, if
fighting.
someone was trying to sell me like a drink and I sniffed it, and for some reason I was like, this has people in it.
I'd be pretty pissed, yeah.
I don't think my first instinct would be like, you know what, I had to throw hands with these guys.
No, I think
I think I'd like call the cops and like report what they look like, because you know that's a job for the fucking cops.
This is where I wrote, this show seems so grounded, and then a fight happens like this. It's so weird.
It's so good though. This season is, dude. I feel like I might like this better than like season 2's like first half, even though it's like way the fuck more off the rails.
I thought that this was a bit more concise, actually.
Yeah, that may have been a side effect. Maybe, yeah.
I
seems
thought
pretty
for a
like
second like him
yeah.
hallucinating, but I don't know, because he did do all that shit last
You
season.
could probably make that argument, but it's like, yeah, I think that's like the show's trying to establish, like, oh yeah, he's not affected, and he stops, thinks about it, and he's like, actually, no, I should get involved with this.
I feel like at first I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe this is like he's just hallucinating blues because he's like on drugs, and then I was like, doesn't really make sense now that I think about it. Like I gave
think
it
you
some
just
thought
thought
after
back
the
to
episode,
Louis.
and I was like, no, that it seems more in character that Lugosi's just kind of crazy like that.
Legoshi's like, listen, season 1, he wasn't even willing to like pick fights if he didn't have to. He was like looking for ways to fake losing so he could just end things. Season 3, Legoshi is aggro. He will throw hands now. He does not give a fuck. That's his development, and it all happened in like one season.
And are you ready? Because that was a great segue into moving on a little bit further. But first, no, I'm just kidding. This is where we also find out that Legoshi's dad is a lizard.
Yeah, Legoshi's grandpa specifically
Granddad
is a
is
fucking
a
lizard. I don't think
He's
I
a
got an image
Komodo
of him,
dragon.
unfortunately, because he's rad. He's like
He
a
is
cool
my favorite
fucking...
character.
I was gonna ask. I was like, oh, this has to, right? It's gotta be this one.
I saw him and I was like, who's this lizard guy? Am I gonna like hate him? I'm so ready to hate him. And he's just like, Legoshi, my boy! And I'm like, I love him!
This fucking weirdo lizard man that just like, he just like throws up in his hand and sticks his fucking poison spit finger in Legoshi's mouth out of nowhere.
Legoshi's like, I was like, yo, did they just kill Legoshi? And then he's just like, no, it's not poisonous to their family members. And I was like, all right, who's grandpa? I was like, wow, they killed Legoshi really quickly.
It's so goofy the way they introduce this
really
freaking
funny.
character. He just like throws up on people and then they like die. And he's like, well, that handles that. That's the way of pacifism.
Yeah, and that's where I was going. He's He's a pacifist, and that's what he taught Legoshi his whole life. That's why in season 1 he never fought with anybody.
Yeah, come on, Legoshi, you gotta be like a fucking pacifist. You can't start fight. Yeah,
Stop!
he's like
We're
Godzilla
scary.
without
Let's
the
go to the back.
plates.
Let's go to the back. Also, this is where we met my second favorite character, but he's just like literally a 1 second character. Skef the chef. That's what I called him.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a name. He's just an alligator dude that is a
I'm
chef. So I called him Skef the chef.
I'm glad we're getting way more lizard representation this season.
I was like, yo, go lizards, I love
Oh,
it.
let's go.
And then
Dude.
this is also where we find out a little bit farther into it, but we haven't talked about it a little bit. Is so Beastar Man, horse bro.
Yaya, yes. The
Yaya.
Beastar.
The Beastar is pissy with Legoshi's granddad because they were buddies, and then he got a girlfriend and got married and stuff, and the horse
Yeah.
guy's still bitter about it.
He's so mad that they're just like not, like going around beating up fucking delinquents with him.
Yeah, dude's so upset that there's that like he's like, you broke bro code, and he's like, dude, like chill, we're adults now. He's like, no, you broke bro code forever. I am mad at you.
Yeah.
I will take this out on your grandson.
As we acknowledge, Yaya gives a like genuinely really cool as fuck speech about how horses have nearly 360 degree vision. And he's like, I can see most of the darkness. I can see most of the underworld, all the scum, all these like enfeebled creatures that don't deserve to live. And the only thing I'm missing is the last 10%. If I had that last 10 degrees of vision, I'd be perfect.
And this is what I wrote when he was like, and it was like, but you would always cover that last 10-bit, giving me 360 until you betrayed me. And I was like, oh, what did like his carnivore partner eat like somebody? And then I was like, hold on, his carnivore partner is Legoshi's grandfather the minute that grandpa showed up, and then literally confirmed immediately the next episode. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, so what, why are you mad at each other?
He's like,
and
yeah, there you are, my last 10 degrees.
My arch frenemy, I hate you so much. And then you find out why, and I was like, bruh.
He's like, listen, I can't keep doing this, man. I'm out. And he's like, but if you're like leaving the group, then you're not gonna be a Beastar with me. Fine, I'm just gonna have to take on the burden alone, and I'll be the hero the Sei needs.
We used to ride motorcycles together, bro.
I threw the award we got in the fucking river because you didn't want it. I hate you so much because you were happy and had a grandson.
But like, I'm gonna marry this woman. She's pregnant with my child. I have to like, that's literally really important.
So that's the point where we learned that Yaya's like weirdly speciesist.
Yeah, he's like, oh, in your species, people can't. That's impossible. Except he wants to hang out with this carnivore the whole time. It's like, dude, bro. You are the worst.
He's so cool up until the exact episode where he confronts Legoshi and you start learning his deal. And then he's like, oh, this guy's a fucking dick.
Yeah, like, that was just, I just wanted to rant about Grandpa because he's my favorite.
This guy went from like an edgy noir cop to like the villain of the series, kind of.
But let's just for a quick minute pick up on what Haru did.
Oh
Moving
yeah,
on.
Haru's in this season.
Moving
Yeah,
on, because she didn't
she
do
like
anything.
she meets with the Harlequin Rabbit girl, and they kind of become like
Friends,
casual
I guess.
friends. And then she's like, "Oh, you're as dang as carnivore because it's fucking trendy." And then the guy's like, "Yeah, she's kind of right, you know."
Yeah, and then later on, that the same chick gets mauled by the lion dude that she's going out with. It's like,
Dude,
I
that
said,
scene is so fucked. Like, you just
this
see
show
the
is
gore.
so flippy floppy on its morals.
Like, this is the it's like the goriest shit ever in a horror. Cause all right, I need to explain how this shit went down, okay? Cause first off, all right, first thing is like, okay, these two are dang, and it's like, all right, it's because it's trendy, whatever. And then Haru's just like,
I should apologize.
yeah. Yeah, it's like they're dating and they're hanging out with Haru, and Haru's like, I'll be a chef so I can make food for like both herbivores and carnivores. And we learn that it's like, okay, Harlequin Rabbit, like, she stands up for her boyfriend. She is pro like carnivore rights. She's
Yeah, she's woke.
anti-discrimination. Fucking based.
She's woke.
Yeah, she's woke as fuck, and you know what? The pretty good glow up. I'm here for it.
I couldn't tell if this was supposed to be the same Harlequin Rabbit or if it was a different character.
It might be a different character now that
I
I'm looking
couldn't
at.
really tell.
Wait, yeah, because I was thinking it was the same one, but it's like, didn't the one from season one of like the whole half of her face was like,
I feel like it was like she's different, but they are the same type of rabbit, I think.
Wait, is this not the same character? Is this just
I
a
don't.
rabbit?
I think it's just a new friend.
It's just a new Harlequin rabbit that just. I guess she's not really Harlequin. I guess she's like a spot, but yeah, she's just a
like
new
a
spot
spot.
rabbit that just shows up.
Also,
yeah, I looked up the
I
Harlequin
thought
rabbit.
because
Wait.
all of them, because a lot of the other rabbits were taller than Haru. I thought they were all like dwarf rabbits. Like
Okay,
Haru was.
I looked this up. The Harlequin rabbit is apparently called Mizuchi. Okay. So I'm looking up Mizuchi, and we're seeing images of the Harlequin rabbit from season 1. And, yeah, no, this is a... Wait, okay, alright, hang on. I also think Mizuchi and Akko are related and hate each... So they're not even the same character. It's
No,
just
I
like,
thought so.
they introduced another white rabbit with, like, heavy black, like, prints, and I was
with
oh...
very close patterns, but I did think that she was a different character.
The fact they plants the carrots on carnivores' corpses. Yeah, fucking Yaya. Alright, we'll get to that in a second, but yeah. But yeah, it's like fucking. So it's not even like the original one. It's like it's this new character that did nothing wrong and just showed up for the season. And then, like, she stands up for her boyfriend. It's like, alright, sure, fucking based. Heck yeah, I love this girl. And then Haru's like, oh, you're just doing it because it's trendy and did. Because, the herbivores and carnivores can't really love each other, right?
She's just being jealous, is what I wrote down.
Yeah, it's clearly Haru, like, projecting her own insecurities about Lego Sheet, like, very clearly. And then that pushes Akko to be like, okay, storm off. And she's like, all right, well, if you actually love me, you'd, like, make out with me, right, land boyfriend? And he's like, yeah, sure, if you want. And they start making out, and they, like, licks her neck.
I wanna point out that I wrote down here again, and I flipped the page for the next one that I wrote, but get this. So I wrote, is this furry porn? Flip page to start new notes. New note. Bro attacked his girlfriend. This show's so flippy floppy on its morals.
Yeah, he immediately, like, fucking attacks her, just loses it. And she's like, I'd take the screen cap, even though I was tempted to, because it's actually, like, kind of too much.
It would have had to be blurred out for YouTube, especially.
like is like she is on the ground, fucking like slashes all over her body, bleeding
Yeah, you
out, and
can.
it
There's like
looks like she's
pieces.
fucking dead.
She's breathing. You can see that she's breathing. I think
She's breathing.
she's
Honestly, I feel
alive.
like that kind of makes it worse. Though it's like she's barely holding on, and it's like, oh, she's going to die. That's the thing. He was like, as far as I'm aware, I don't think the boyfriend was on drugs. His instincts just took over.
Yeah, he was
Like,
literally just there, and then like we cut away for another scene real quick that we'll get to, and then it just flips back to this, and I'm
so,
like, oh, okay.
so I think there's something fucked going on here. Where, of course, the series wants the message like, oh, yeah, we can all work together and segregation's bad. And, very clearly shows that. That's like, oh, when animals are segregated, it's like they just, like, become more extreme. They become even more divided than they already were. But then it's just like, oh, but also these things are consistently shown to be fucking dangerous. And if you date a carnivore, like, it's not true love. They will kill you. Legoshi is the only exception. All other carnivores are horrible murder machines. You cannot trust
Yeah,
them.
the show's
They
so
will
flip
give
floppy
in
on
to
its
their
morals.
instincts. Yeah,
The
they're like,
show's-
they are hair triggered. They're ready to go. And I feel like this is the scene where it just pushed over the edge from like, okay, well, devourings happen to like, no, this is actually like a real problem. And, fuck. We should not be like putting these two groups together. This is.
Yeah,
People
but
are
you're
fucking
supposed to.
dying,
You're
dude.
supposed to want them to be together, and then the show's like, no, but it's a bad thing. And I'm like, well, fucking make up your mind.
It's very clearly shown as like an explicitly bad thing this season, it feels like.
Yeah, I know, but like you're supposed to want that to be like a good thing because like throughout
This
the past season and this season, you've seen carnivores and herbivores all together all of a sudden, and it's like, see, we need that to
yeah,
be a good thing. We need to save the drama club, which I was about to get to the drama club in about a second, but I'm still on this.
yeah, you know what?
And then they're just like, no, don't forget all of that. We need us to be together thing. They're dangerous and fuck that.
So
Which
you know what
immediately goes against what Haru does.
you know what this is? I don't hate it nearly as much, but you know what the fuck this is? This is that scene in Attack on
Nobody
Titan where they're like, oh yeah, we can all agree genocide is bad, right? It's clearly never okay. Hard cut to Armin looking at like fucking anime Hitler, just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, thank you for doing a genocide for
Mhm.
us. This is that explicitly. This is
It's
just
very much
that,
that.
but it's like racial segregation.
I get that. It's very much that. It's like segregation bad, and then 5 seconds later, segregation good.
It's like segregation bad, hard cut to, and this is why segregation kind of needs to happen.
Yeah.
Where does that leave Bears? I feel for the Bears. I think they just have to, like, pick a side. I think that's how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, like omnivores like dogs were paired in with carnivores, so.
You know what? No. Yeah, bears should be paired with the carnivores because it's like people like Gohim have like lived on like plants, but Riz did a devouring and he was not in control of his actions.
Also, you gotta think about how strong a bear would be compared to everything else, because bears are just fucking weird boys.
Yeah, bears just bears are carnivores. If you eat meat, you're a carnivore. I think that's the line. And unless you're like a whale or something and you eat plankton, it's like, yeah, no, carnivore.
So, that just reminds me of another. Just real quick, we'll talk about him because he's only there for a little bit. But the funny ass fucking neighbor from the sea.
Yeah, the naked seal man.
Yeah, the seal bro. That like they have tea and then it feels like Legoshi is on drugs.
Yeah.
It's like he got really high and he just chilled out with the seal guy. That's all I really have to say about him. He's just
Yeah,
kinda cool.
Legoshi's
He's
like
another one of Legoshi's cool neighbors.
Legoshi sort of learns, like, oh, how do you do things in the ocean? And the seal man's like, well, in the ocean, everyone's a carnivore, so we just have,
Everyone
like,
eats.
we'll
Everyone
just
eats.
chill with it. Yeah, you either eat or get in, it is what it is, who gives a fuck? And I'm just sitting there like, there's no way this is, like, accurate, right? Like, there's no way that this is a society built upon, like, the oppression of, like, smaller fish or something because of, like, how we've seen this show structured.
I think they're just trying to
Yeah.
make it simpler or sound simpler, but
Yeah,
we haven't
this
gotten to
feels like
that part of
someone who's,
the
like,
arc.
near the top of the food chain just romanticizing Abaz's homeland. Oh, hey, Baron,
Yeah.
we're talking about season 3.
Hey,
Dude,
Baron.
Baron in the ocean, everyone's a carnivore. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And
Everyone's
that's
eats and
apparently
everyone's
a good
eating.
thing.
Yeah, it's cool, I guess. Not really, but whatever. Anyways, he's a cool character. He's there for
Yeah,
like
that
10
that
seconds.
dude is really chill. I feel like if we actually saw what his homeland was like, he would be kind of full of bullshit,
Oh yeah, he is
I
kind of
think it
cool
would be
about
like
it.
the big, like dystopia energy.
Also, fish people have their own language, and just that's what I was gonna. That's another thing that I wrote down was the fact that there is just a like world, not like sea world, but like a world of sea aquatic life. Um, opens a whole new can of worms. That I'm like
Unironically.
I'm just gonna leave that one closed for now.
Phrasing. Hey, because you use worms to catch the fish.
Exactly. This is a pun. It's a joke. Funny.
I naturally support the massive consumption of aquatic life.
True fact.
Dude,
He
if there's
does.
a point in this series where we see like a shark and he's the most like corrupt mob boss bullshit ever, that would make way too much sense.
And then we're just watching Shark Tale.
Yeah, just turn to Shark Tale, just straight up.
Um. So I think the next bit that we should talk about is Legoshi's
I
fight, but
I I do ask one question before we move on.
yeah, yeah,
This is really, really important.
okay,
Do you think when whales like filter feed, do you think they can hear the screams of the plankton?
yes,
Okay, noted.
and they enjoy it. That is if plankton are like a living thing in this world. I assume they would be. I don't know. They are in
Yeah, because
SpongeBob.
it's like the meal grubs were also alive and fucking screaming, and Lugosi had a
Imagine
conversation.
the screaming lulls them to sleep.
Alright, imagine if what he's talking is true and the ocean's just the equivalent of like carnivore. I mean, it's not impossible. I think that's the impression we're supposed to get. I'm just
I
sitting here
mean,
like, I
yeah.
don't trust this for a second. I think there is gonna be like, oh, the ocean's so great, and we hear our perspective, and they're like, no, its Airbnb is just as corrupt as the surface. It
Yeah, we
is
didn't get the
as
perspective of that
fucked, if
udon
not
fish.
maybe worse. I will find episode 1. Again, we did see a sushi stand.
This is also true.
I pointed out in like the first like podcast we did.
Right. So the thing that I want to talk about real quick it goes back to I think almost episode 1, but
Oh,
it's there.
okay.
Real quick, it might be. No, it's episode 2 because Louis goes back to the high school for like a quick second, right?
Yeah.
And Juno kisses him.
Oh yeah,
And he likes it.
Joe just kisses Lewis out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, I guess in like season 1 where she was intimidating him, I guess she was flirting a little bit. Yeah, who knows?
And he liked it.
I think, alright, hear me out. I think Lewis is purely a top, but I think he'd get off on like doming someone who's like stronger than him. I think that's where he stands, right?
I think he'd get off at being domed because he wants to be a dom.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think it would because he's a weird man.
I think I think he'd be like, "Don't patronize me," and he'd be the top, and then they just be like, "Oh, okay, sure,
Let's be
whatever."
honest. They'd both be fighting for top the entire time.
Yeah, it'd be the most like
It'd just be like
awkward
a
switch
combat roll,
relationship.
and then we just find out that Juno likes the doggy style.
We'd hear a bad our ocean creature accidentally ended up on land, like a mauled humpback whale. Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Moving past my terrible joke, we'll keep on Louis for a second. He also tries to have sex with a deer girl, but he can't get it up because he's thinking about Juno.
Oh my god. Are you sure he's not thinking out Lugosi?
I'm pretty sure he is thinking about both of them at the same time because he talks about the sharp teeth at first, and I'm like,
Oh
yes,
man.
both of them.
Side note, can we just acknowledge this deer girl is pretty as fuck?
Yes, she's a deer, a doe, a female deer.
Yeah. I'm sure Lewis could even get it up unless his partner was stronger than him. Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Lewis is like a carnivore by nature that's forced into the body of an herbivore. That's totally the character.
I also love that for a second because, like, literally my thing kind of, I had to reload it because it wasn't working here for a minute, right? So it
Right.
went over the ground like twice, and I caught that his leg was off, and I was like, wait, why?
I could
I mean, I guess
hmm.
it would be really cold and uncomfortable.
I've actually never thought about that. Yes. Like, do people have, like, like a robot leg or like a missing arm or like, do you keep the prosthetics on in bed or do you
No, you
take
know
it
what? I
off
guess
because it's like, yeah, if you like
my
rolled over
uncle
on it, then it like kind of hurts.
my uncle is missing his arm, and he doesn't wear prosthetic in bed, so
Huh.
got into a car accident a couple of years ago. He's all right now. Don't worry about it.
Damn. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess you wouldn't put it on unless it's like a turn on for the partner, right?
Yeah, I guess it would just kind of be uncomfortable because, like, you also have to have it strapped on you all the time.
Yeah. But it's like, what if your partner's like, yeah, what if they're like a big mecha fan or something and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm into that.
Yes, we all know you'd want the robo leg to stay on.
I I'd have to think about that. I've never. Would I want the robo leg to stay on?
Well, I mean, like, they would have to be if it was, what's his name from ZZZ?
Oh, Lycone. Yeah. You
He's
know
got
what?
two
Yeah, that
robo
actually makes
legs.
complete sense. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, robo legs stay on. Yeah, 100%. You, robo legs stay on, but you're topping, and I just have to deal with the like heavy machines on my legs,
I,
just pressing
well,
down.
true. Now, I love they keep talking about Lewis because he actually isn't that bad of a character this season. But
Yeah.
that's also because he's not fucking around. Like, he's nowhere to be seen. Him and
Wait,
Haru are
when you
like
say
in
he's
this.
not fucking around,
No, I mean, well, I guess like he never fucks around, but he's just not in the show
I thought
enough yet.
I thought you were making a joke about how he just cucks this girl.
No, he does just cuck this girl. Like that literally happens. He just like throws up because he's thinking
Yeah.
about
That's
Legoshi and
such a
Arjuna.
fucking mood killer. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
You,
I think I'd be like, okay, I'm just
dude,
gonna put my clothes back on.
I'm I'd be so mad if I was gonna like okay I was gonna use an example. It's like no, let's just go straight for. I'd be so mad if we were gonna like have sex or something, and you're like ugh, and you just turn to the side like threw up, and I'm like oh what's going on, and you're like I was thinking about a dude.
I was thinking about a
I
dude
can't
and
leave
or
him.
another girl. I don't know. Don't worry about it.
I'd be so like mad at that point. Like it's not even like another girl, it's like a dude, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Fuck.
wait, are you even like into
Are
like,
you even into dudes? I don't know.
are you even into girls at this point? I don't know.
I don't know what I'm into. Just
All right,
looks in the
so
mirror.
yeah,
I'm into me.
Well, whale that's full on dolphin and shark fights with you and some shark teeth stuck to it and they have to have terrified PTSD stare him. BTW, Robolag for, stability. Oh, yeah. If you can't forcefully hold me down, I'm not down to fuck.
True.
Dude, the only person who, this doesn't apply to is fucking Haru, and that's because the force of her personality, literally domed him.
That's true.
Oh, man.
She does that with everybody, though.
The fact that those two did get together, it's like Louis x Haru or Louis x Legoshi, but more Louis x Legoshi. And then Legoshi x Louis or Bust, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't. I don't feel like there's anyone else where it's like I'd ship him with him.
I like the random Louis and Juno, but that's pretty. I ship it. I also ship. I also totally just forever alone virgin man is Legoshi. I'm just kidding.
Listen, by the end of episode 6, maybe it won't be
maybe
forever
not.
Because listen, 18th birthday, your girl shows up at your place of business and wants to go home with you or whatever. It's like, okay, I see where this is going.
All right, I think it's time we talk about the fight, though.
Which fight? There's a few.
Where he fights the douchebag. Just kidding.
Yes.
He fights Yaya. He doesn't even really fight him, but Yaya kicks his ass and then also shows him that his garden is full of dead animal bodies, and I was like, that's psycho. That's what a psycho does. That is what a crazy person does. That is something a Walking Dead villain does.
After he's had fangs, nothing else can be things. Baron, keep that thought in the back of your mind for a second, because Yaya brings Legoshi up to his suite, and he's like, alright, I'm the current Beastars, I'm the perfect Beastars for a perfect world that I want to create, and, don't you also desire perfection? Here, have some of my perfect carrots. And, Legoshi's like, oh, these are really yummy. He's like, yeah, I made them with fucking, people.
I grew them in dead bodies. That's the best soil. And you're like, what the fuck?
In the dead bodies of fucking carnivores. And he pulls up a carrot and it's got a fucking skull stuck in it.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucked up, bro. That's
the destruction of carnivores is the foundation on which I must build my perfect society, where I'll have 360-degree vision over every part of the city.
You know who has dead bodies in their garden? Fucking Theo. Okay, this is anime villain levels of ridiculousness.
Yeah, and he kicks the shit out of Legoshi. He's like, nah, apologize for eating meat. And then Legoshi's like, yeah.
As a carnivore, he's like, apologize for even existing as a carnivore. I demand you.
And Legoshi's like, you know what, I apologize for eating meat, yeah. And also I'm going to make a declaration, because give me a second. Yeah, get some hey, do you have some dill
impossible
floss?
For me to do with my hands? Do you have pliers? Physically impossible for anyone to actually do this with their hands.
Yeah, Legoshi rips his fucking fangs out for no reason. It's so goofy. I hate this so much because it's like, why the fuck did you do this?
And again, kind of his leg, it's kind of pointless. But he makes this declaration that he doesn't need his fangs to be a carnivore or whatever.
Yeah, the entire time he's fucking mumbling because he doesn't have his fucking teeth.
Yeah, and then he punches the dude across the room and he lands on a table and then runs away. Doesn't even run away. He
Yeah.
just says, sorry, okay, bye.
Yeah, he
Goes.
punches Yaya out and like starts a fire, and Legoshi just bows and he's like, "Sorry about that. Even us carnivores have our reason. I'm just gonna go."
Yeah, and then he leaves, and he goes to Gohim's, which in episode 6 he first wakes up, which is when he has that coyote chick in the sex chair.
Right? Yeah, he puts the fucking was she a coyote or like a fox? I guess she is
She
a
was
coyote, isn't
maybe she
she?
was a fuck. I didn't write her species down, but he did say it. Um,
I would say fox. I think she is a fox.
but I thought it was really funny because for like the first half of this episode of the last episode that we watched, right, episode 6, Lugosi's voice actor is paid to just go. It's so stupid.
I'll point out after Legoshi ripped out his fangs, it's like you could still see he has like his bomb teeth, and the entire time, like, okay, but it's like his grandpa's a lizard, he's got lizard DNA, or the fangs gonna grow back. They're gonna go back, right? There's like a lizard losing his tail, there's gonna grow back. There's gonna grow back. And Gohim is like, here, I have some fake fangs for you. Don't ask why I just have these. Yeah, now we have to worry about your character design. And like Legoshi's like, well, this goes into everything I just did to prove a point, but they do feel better, like now that I have them in.
I wrote this down. Look, now Lugosi's got fake teeth like me. We're bros for real,
Yeah.
for real.
Kid unites himself in an attempt to prove a point back to the psychologist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, at some point those fangs are gonna fucking grow back. I'm calling it so hard.
You think they're just gonna grow back? I mean, I guess that would make sense.
They're gonna just grow back. It's gonna be like, oh, it must be because lizard, and he's gonna bite someone and go back on literally every part of this.
So I that's where I was kind of like, I started calling him BoJack Horseman because I was like, he went from every '90s action hero to BoJack Horseman because he just went from like 0 to 100 on the psycho scale.
Dude, just sing it. Okay, so hear me out. Here's my like hot take about this character. Okay, hot take number 1 here. Yaya's deal, it shouldn't be like he hates chimeras. That's way the fuck too specific. Yaya should just hate fucking carnivores in general and just be like open about it. You know, it's like, oh, his like friend left him, and he's like, this is why I hate carnivores, and and I hate
such
you
a
because
bad
you're a wolf.
reason too. I just think it's such a bad reason.
Yeah, but at least that like makes sense, right?
I mean, I get it, but I look forward to
I
seeing where
think
this character goes
I think the plot
because last
should
we
be
saw
like,
him,
oh, Yaya wants a perfect society, and the thing that's getting in the way of its perfect society is that, like, carnivores are, like, irregular, and they can't be controlled, because, like, their instincts are too strong, you know? And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe, you know, he's like, hey, if we wipe out the carnivores, this and that, but he's like, but I can't actually do that, so instead I'll just, like, bring them to justice. I think that would make complete sense for, like, the plot
That's
right now.
kind of his character.
It
but
kind of is. I wish it was there, like, more.
it's just not a like heavy. He's such a weird guy.
He's such a weirdo. Like, he's so cool, but he's such a prick.
Like his whole reason for like being angry is so dumb.
Phustus, what'd you think if Legoshi suddenly had Komodo dragon spit?
Be weird, but like I could believe it now.
Yeah, venom poison. Yeah, I mean, technically, if you want to get down to it, Komodo dragons is... no, I think they actually do have venom, don't they? Yeah, I think for a while it was thought that it's like they didn't actually have, like, real poison. It was just like, you know, they have, like, rotting meat in their mouth, so their bite is, like, really dangerous. but it's like they're so resilient that like yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
people
revealed
thought
that
it
they
was
have like
just
both.
bacteria, that it wasn't just bacteria. It was actually a poison, but people thought it was just bacteria when the bite would kill people.
Yeah. I'm pretty
They're
sure Aunt Pingor to
dangerous
break up with his
and
bestie and stewing over it for decades fucked up Bojack here to some degree.
yeah, this guy is he's a fucking card.
Oh man.
And not enough grandpa, not enough Haru. Louis was just kind of there.
Yeah, Lewis is just kind of there.
I,
Lewis
I
and Haru just have stopped being characters.
they're
Legoshi's
just
basically
there.
stopped being a character. The plot's about like Yaya and the lions now.
Yeah, the plot's about Yaya and the lions and Melon,
Yes, and fucking Melon.
and somehow Goshi's there, I guess, because
Which episode are we even on right now? The poison
uh
keeps the wound open and bleeding, and the bacteria's the rest. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
well, really, what we did is kind of went over characters, not episodes.
that's fair. That's fair.
But we have kind of like spoken about just about everything except for maybe like what the drama club was doing, but
I think
they're not really doing
I don't
anything.
think we've talked about Melon's King Crimson scene where he's like his King
Oh
Crimson
right,
reveal,
this
where
is
he just
this is
he
literally the
yeah
last scene of before, well, just before we get the Haru scene. This is what happens.
yeah. This is it's like we're investigating Melon, and it's like okay, he's like a therapist, and he's got some like he's a bit of like a suspicious character, but not someone untrustworthy. And it's like, oh, it turns out that he has a secret room in his house, and they're tracking things down. They're like, okay,
Okay,
Melon
this
is
is another
responsible
moment.
for the murders.
I just want to point out this is another moment when they were talking about the broom that's like a chute that goes all the way down with no windows in it. I was writing something down and I looked back and I like re-paid attention again and I was like, yeah, that's called an elevator, you fucking dumbasses.
Yeah. No, but it's like it's from the
It's
fireplace, right?
actually
Yeah.
just a shaft
He
in a
has
fireplace, and I was like, okay, I'm the dumbass.
Melon has a fucking murder dungeon.
Yeah, he has a murder dungeon that Yaya sneaks into, and then he starts climbing up through the murder chute into his office, and he's just
Yeah.
there.
And I would talk about this scene because, first off, I'm kind of into this character right now, but also because it's actually like a really good villain introduction. Because Yaya's just like, okay, yeah, he's got his little, like, like his little syringe gun, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna, like, take off guard, knock him out, take him for questioning or whatever, I assume. And then like he hears the sound of like Melon talking with one of his patients, and it's like okay, we established what he's like, normally as like a therapist, as like a professional. And they say something like, "Ah, it's hard to find someone who will take me with how like dangerous I look." And I'm like, "Okay, that's probably the elephant. That's probably the
Yeah,
elephant he kills."
you can. I obviously could tell that it was an elephant because he's like, oh, what's going on, boys?
Yeah,
That's like the voice they use. It might have been different because you're watching a different version, but still, they
yeah.
gave him this voice that was just like, "Oh, I'm a big elephant." So I was like, "There's the
And then
elephant."
we see him throw the fucking. It's like a tape recorder
Tape
with the
recorder.
session on it, and immediately establishes, like, oh, this guy's a fucking scumbag. He's keeping, like, recordings of the sessions, probably to, like, bribe people with or something. And it distracts Yaya enough for him to, like, sneak up on him and, like, stomp on his hand, take the, like, syringe gun, do his little villain monologue, and then he just gets him, and then Yaya falls down the chute, and there's, like, a splat noise.
Yeah,
And it's
I'm sure
unclear
he's
if he's
fine.
dead or not.
I'm sure he's fine because literally the guy said, "I'll see you later,"
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna just kill off BoJack like that. I mean, I
they
wouldn't
might,
really
but
care.
yeah.
I wouldn't really care, to be honest. But I
I
still
could
feel like
see it
he's alive.
happening, or I could see him having like a last stand in the murder dungeon before it happens.
No, I feel like Legoshi's gonna come in just before his death, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, it feels so bad."
Yeah, Legoshi's gonna somehow end up like investigating the murder
Well,
dungeon
I
by
mean, they
pure
actually,
chance.
literally, if they don't somehow tie in Legoshi into the plot, then you might as well have just fucking left him out of the story.
Yeah, Legoshi's gonna show up. He's gonna he opens the door. Yaya's like chained up in the corner. He's like missing an arm or something
It's like
because
Mr.
Melon just
Beastars.
cut it off to like sell as like ingredients for his like drugs. And
Yeah,
like Yaya's gonna be like, Brat, run. And that's gonna be his like foul moments.
yeah, and he's gonna like fight the Gazelle guy and whatever, and then
Yeah.
anyway.
Scumbag feels a bit too mild in terms, but in the right ballpark. But yeah, the guy goes well beyond scumbag. Yeah.
I
Actual serial killer shit.
yeah, kind of. I'm leaning on the like path of Psycho. That's where I'm
Actual
going.
psycho. Actual
Actual
unhinged behavior.
Psycho.
And you know what? This is why we're gonna put out something else, which is really interesting. Cause it's like, I'm sure you've like, you remember the opening, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like, mixed media. We're like kind of referencing stuff from past seasons.
Hmm.
We see Legoshi run through the forest of horns. But if
Yeah.
you notice, none of them are Lewis's. Some of them are gazelle horns, because it's also Melon now. Melon's getting involved.
Great. Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything. It's just a neat little attention to detail.
It is a neat thing, but I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I noticed that a few of the endings changed depending on like how the end of the episode went, but
I'll have to.
like in the
Yeah.
episode that you found out that like Grandpa, uh, what was it? I can't remember if it was the episode that you find out. Yeah, it's the episode that you find out that Grandpa can kick ass. It ends with like him going through this whole like this whole bit, and then it ends with him running towards Legoshi, and then Legoshi disappears. It's just a weird thing that I
Yeah.
noticed.
Honestly, that ED kicks ass too. I saw that and I'm like, oh, are we doing a different ED every episode? This is really high quality. And it's like, no, we're not. We just have a few special
No,
ones.
it's just like a few special ones that I noticed, and then I kind of like skipped past most of them because I didn't care.
Yeah, literally is Legoshi's like, just what kind of person was my grandma? And it cuts to the lizard man just like being a cool biker delinquent and being the shit at people with his poison.
Yeah, and then we meet his grandma, which is just a wolf. And I was like, that's cute.
Oh man. So, yeah.
Well, we also learn about Lugosi's mom, just like
Oh
something like a real
yeah.
quick throwaway line that like apparently she needed help from Grandpa, but Grandpa wasn't there for her or something.
Yeah, we don't know what Legoshi's actual parents are, just his grandparents.
Yeah,
How fucked would actually would make no sense. For a second, I was like, "What if Melon was Legoshi's dad?" And it's like,
that
nah,
would make
that'd be
no
like that
sense.
don't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't really make much sense.
Honestly,
I
yeah.
would get it if it was like if like it was another Wolf of Wolf thing, right? I
From
guess.
from the spoilers I've got, there's a chance Melon is way younger than he seems right now, and then stuff is gonna go way the fuck off the rails.
Well, yeah, but we've still got 6 episodes to go, so.
So yeah, I guess anything else we want to talk about here?
No, I'll tell you what though. I thought that this season caught my interest more than all the other ones, and it held my interest longer.
Heck yeah. So I
But
assume it's.
I'm not really saying it's any better than the other ones though,
Oh no, the
because it's
the Mac.
still all
Yeah,
over the place.
the Mackley. This is the most all over the place and like counterintuitive a season's been, Because it's like, okay, like the only herbivore villains we have are like Yaya and Melon, and they're both like pretty fucked
Crazy.
in different ways. And then we just contrast them with the like constant presence of like carnivores, like horribly serial killer people and just mauling them to death and shit. Yeah, Goshi's just like extra large gray
Oh,
wolves,
the
so like his
gray
farm map
wolf.
just been a
Yeah,
normal gray wolf. Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is it's just like a normal wolf couple because also
Yeah.
I remember that Grandpa said that it was like a miracle that the wolf girl even got pregnant with his kid.
Yeah, like interspecies relationships aren't really supposed to be like a thing.
Well, like the horse bro even points it out that he's a fucking reptile and she's a mammal. That doesn't. That's not how it works, bro.
Yeah. And the only hint we got to this was people being like, Legoshi's kind of big for a wolf.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I think that's pretty much the 6 episodes, all the characters and big scenes that's goes on. I
It's
guess like
so
the drama club is there for like a hot second,
it's
but like I don't
so
care.
so weird that's like, oh, like we're doing a thing that's like an allegory for all these different like, things about powers and systems. And it's like, oh yeah, and also like, yeah, the people in charge there get all the shit. And they're also the ones that are just more horribly murdering people, and we just, hey, the divide needs to happen, and the people in power are the ones you really have to worry about.
Yeah,
They're the ones killing everyone. They're the ones that kind of really deserve your sympathy. But they're also just murdering people.
this show is very flip floppy on its
Its message
moral.
has gone so off the rails by now. Like it felt consistent enough in season one. It's gone like completely off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
somehow
show
I've
used to be
de-evolved
about.
into a direwolf somehow because lizard genes equal old.
Direwolves aren't a real thing.
So yeah, we have anything else we want to say before we like move on?
No, I think that's about it. My mom
Yeah,
just texted.
okay. Right, well, I guess I'll see you guys around then. Oh, right,
Uh
Phustus. I assume you're good to keep going with the show, right?
oh yeah. I
I
need to
kind
know
of
what's going
assumed
on.
so.
I need to know what's going on. I want to figure it out. I
I
like
need
Grandpa. Grandpa needs
for
to be in the story more.
for multiple
Haru needs to be
reasons,
in the
I
story
need
more.
to know what the fuck is up with Melon. I feel like if there's a final season part 2, I'm gonna lose it. See you guys
I'll
around
yeah,
later.
energy.